Hi there, I'm Marty Chinesky, and along with my partner here, Ken Montroy, we are your host of the local sports wrap-up here in Wyandotte. We've been off for 2 weeks. Ken, how's your 2 weeks?
Good. I cooked Easter ham, and everybody survived, and that was pretty good. How about yourself? What'd you do for Easter?
Relative. Went
Relative?
to my sister's house, yep.
Your mother?
No, my sister's house.
Oh, was your mother there, though?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay, great.
Absolutely. We
Great.
picked her up and took her.
Fantastic. You didn't make her cook this year, huh?
No.
Fantastic.
So what do you got? What's happening in 2 weeks? A lot of scores to get to. We got a lot of things to talk about.
Absolutely. They had some things going on in the water, though. They put in some new bayous.
Buoys.
Or buoys.
Buoys.
Okay, French, Italian, I don't know. But anyway, they put them by the Grosse Bridge. So if you're out there, be careful.
Out there on the water.
Correct.
Water levels go up. Can't see the hidden rocks.
Correct.
Boom.
For the fishermen, because I believe walleye's running right now.
Yeah, big tournament coming up in the next couple of weeks. I know that. We're not going to talk about that, though.
Right.
Hebda Day. Today is April 27th, and the Hebda's going on right down the street from us. Place is packed. So we got early results. It's the Roosevelt Novice 4 team has moved on to the next step. They run 4 boats. Top 2 move on. And the men's junior 4, they've also moved on in the second heat. Oh, the women's novice have moved on also. So we're getting farther and farther along. A little cold and windy on the water today. I wouldn't have wanted to be out there. I apparently heard that a boat tipped. And that water's got to be cold. Oh, my God, it's got to be
That's
cold.
when you got to make sure you got your long underwear on.
That's right, because it was windy and it's rough out there, and I can't imagine pulling somebody out of that water.
No, I just didn't see him, Coach. I understand they had a team from West Virginia actually here.
Oh.
That's impressive to come this far.
Yeah.
How do you do that on top of your car with a boat that big?
They have trailers. They pull them around on
nice.
trailers, yes.
I'd hate to come up from West Virginia. By the time you get here, pretty tired.
Or very strong.
Or very strong.
Or very strong.
Very good.
What do you have with our local high school teams? You got anything over there?
I do. I actually have the boys baseball team. They won. They were down. They won Wednesday. I don't know how they did if they played yesterday. But they won Wednesday. They were down 6-2 and come back and won. Pretty impressive. Girls softball also, they won. In my understanding, they're now 2-2 in their division or league.
That's what I have. I have them at 2-2, and the boys, they didn't list their record in the local newspaper, but they said that they're trying to get their struggles straightened out. So that could be their first league victory.
That would be nice. You know, if there are coaches out there that watch this program, like the 2 coaches that are in it right now, please send us some information because we'd love to talk about your teams. We don't, the paperwork that we get isn't updating us enough. So we'd really like to know. But I do know that the track won. They beat Trenton, the boys and the girls. So that's pretty sweet that the programs are doing good.
And what I know about the soccer program, they're currently 7-3-1. They have outscored their opponents 24-12.
24-12.
They are obviously, that's 2-1. Let's see. Yeah, that's 2-1 last I checked. And they're, you know, the coach was here, Gene, right?
Yes.
Gene was here, and he knows the tough competition. He's pretty much nailed it. If you look, you know, Woodhaven's tough, Trenton's tough, but they're rolling along, and they've never had. Last year was the highest they finished, you know, and now they seem to have taken the next step.
Well, he said that they're having the programs underneath them and are coming up that we'd like to establish in bowling. Same thing, that it's that funnel system and kids are catching it. They're understanding the game. When they come up, it cuts down how much time you have to spend on these other elements of the game that you could teach them to be better.
I agree. And the second thing is, as they get older, they can understand more of, you hope they can understand more.
Well, that's our job.
Yes, that they can understand a little more complex instruction.
Correct.
As opposed to just saying, stand over here and wait for the ball. You know, when they're 8 years old, you don't want all 10 of them, 11 of them chasing the ball, which is hard to do because, as we've discussed many weeks, the ball or the hockey puck is a magnet.
Correct.
And it pulls everybody to it.
Right.
Whereas they get older, they understand. And he seems to have a good program going.
He does, and maybe it's a good omen for the coaches to be on the show. You start doing better.
Yeah, see that? And tennis now, the tennis team, apparently, they're sitting really pretty. They are going to compete.
Oh, that's nice.
With the rest of the league. Currently, who is our girls' tennis coach? I should have circled his name.
Well, didn't you have one of our bowlers was on the tennis team?
Correct.
One of your bowlers?
There's a couple, and actually some of these girls played softball throughout growing up, and I had a couple of them on it too. But what he used to, according to what I read here, the article, he used to have just his A players would win matches. So when you go to a tennis thing, you have to win certain matches.
Sure.
Get enough of them won, you win the point. It's like bowling. You know?
Sure.
And so he used to have to rely on his A players. And now his B's and his C's are solid. And they're knocking off the other team's B's and C's, so they're rolling. They're rolling through the season.
Because all points matter, right?
Right.
So.
And if you only have one stud, you get 1 point, you know. But if you have the B players a stud and your C players, you know, you're in good shape.
Fantastic.
So we're pulling for the tennis coach. Hey, if you're not doing anything, stop in and talk to us one day.
Absolutely. We like to help your team out, too.
Yeah, because if you come in here, you end up being a winning team.
Good omen.
I agree.
What else did we have? The boys and girls track. Oh, did we mention that already? I mentioned that? Well, let's move on then.
We had the winter all area.
Oh.
All state, all area. The winter sports, basketball, bowling, were in the paper the other day, and we took some notes. Ken's got the results.
Keyshawn Devlin. He's only a sophomore, too. Kid averaged 17.9, almost 18 points a game. His assists, he was averaging 2 and 1 steal. Eventually, he'll get his assist up. Give up the ball. But, yeah, you'll get those assists up because he is the point guard. And once he learns to drive that lane, dish off, then you hit your forwards, boom, they go in for a nice little layup. The kid everybody that spoke about this kid said he's got a lot of potential, and he's a sophomore now. Next year he'll be a junior. I think that's great for the program.
Is he all area, all state?
Well, he was on the basketball all downriver dream team.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and so we also, they had a senior from Gable Richard. His name is Garrett Balazzi. He averaged 14 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists per game. I would assume he's a forward. I don't really know, though. But for those points, I would assume. Also, they had for the first team, all Catholic, too, from Richard. They had Kevin Tuttle, who averaged 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals a game. And then you had James, this is French, Brou, from Wyandotte. He was a junior forward. He finished with an average of 10 points, 7 rebounds a game. Sweet. Second team is Matt Silka for Richard. All league selection, 16 points. And I understand he's a great 3-point shooter. That's definitely an advantage when you're looking for a college scholarship because it gets farther out.
And the game has changed.
And it has.
Just to post it down low and just feed it to the big guy.
That is correct. Speaking as the big guy, down low, I'd be the guy that'd be feeding it to the big guy.
That's right. And
Mike Holtzclaw from Richard, he's a sophomore. He was all league selection. Averaged 11 points, 7 rebounds, 3 steals. Strong defense. Very good defensive player. That's it for that part.
The basketball, that's it's like soccer. You have to have your kids all thinking the same way, everybody on the same page. You were a basketball coach back in the day.
Many, many years. Again, just like you had pointed out, something about a round globe. It was like Woody Allen, Sleeper. They're just so attracted to it. And if they would understand, stay there, I'll get you the ball. Instead, just like you say, they get attracted to the ball, and there they go. And that's one of the problems. The forwards stay there. And when they collapse on me, I'll dish you the ball. You should be open.
And the game's gotten, I think, with the three-point shot, I don't want to say more physical, but now everybody drives and kicks out. Everybody drives and kicks out. Everybody, and it's over and over and over. You watch basketball, and even at this level, I mean, somebody's got to take it to the hole. Everybody collapses because there's a round globe there, and then it goes that way, and the guy's wide open. The team that makes the shots usually wins.
One of the biggest things that I had to tell my forwards is that as you're watching the ball, know where you're at on the floor. Because next thing you know, they shot the ball and it bounced off your head because you're underneath the basket. And just get out there and stay away. Know where the floor is. I would teach them that. Know where your spot on the floor is, and you won't have to worry about the basket. That's a hard thing to teach. But in point to the three-point shots, you watch the NBA. They take 50 in a night.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Some guys take 30 on their own.
That one game, the one three-pointer for Oklahoma City, whatever it was, he let the clock run down, shot from about 12 feet behind the three-pointer, makes it to win the game. So, yes, shooting in high school, the three-pointers become a very big asset to a team.
Speaking of basketball and assets, we had a young student. He's a senior, plays on the basketball team, Darian Henderson. He has got the film bug. He has created a couple of films, local films, and have gotten awards for it. He has one he wrote and narrated. It's called Superhero. It starts out it's all about the D. This young kid had a little bit of a rough upbringing, got into, at about 10 years old, he got into a family that wanted to take care of him.
How sweet.
Yes, and his life has changed dramatically. He has the film bug. There's a retired policeman, Mr. Gillespie, first name.
Ted?
First name.
Gillespie's
Anyway, Mr. Gillespie is his protege. He is into film, and between the two of them, they turned in these films. He had two, and he's won 2 Best of Show awards now.
Nice.
And you can, once you know the ins and outs of recording and editing and sound, you can get a job anywhere. Literally filming commercials for the big 3, filming commercials for the little 3. Once you get that bug and understand how filming a local cable show, we are nothing without the people behind the scenes.
Well, that is true. Thanks, Caroline.
And so this young man is on his way. He's a senior. He'll be graduating, and he is in love. He's going to play basketball at Lake Michigan College in Benton Harbor, and he's been accepted there. And the school has a film club.
Oh,
so he's going to be able to chase his passion. It's good to have basketball as a passion, but you're one twisted knee from no more basketball.
That is absolutely correct.
It's always good to have a backup plan, and he knows that he'll be able to film and edit, and there are so many subjects you can do a documentary on these days. We wish him nothing but the best. We hope that he excels, and someday we'll be reading about the great director, Darian Henderson.
Great.
So good luck there, young man. We hope everything works out for you.
So he's a senior, is that correct?
He is a senior. He's playing on played on the basketball team. I'm not sure if he has a winter sport, a spring sport that he's into. A lot of times they make them guys just do something. They'll put him on the track team and he'll throw the discus, or they'll put him, whatever. Find something for him to do.
Absolutely.
Maybe he's on the baseball team. Who knows?
Yeah, we'd like to get the baseball coach.
Have you tried? A couple times.
Fantastic. Let's see, what else do we have? Sports related.
I know that the Wyandotte. Let's talk something here. The weather. The last couple of weeks. I know the kids were off for a little bit, but the last couple of weeks there has been no sports going on. It's been wet. I know. I have a lake in my yard. We call it Lake Janeski because that's where the ice rink used to be.
I was just going to say, I remember a frozen lake you used to have out in your backyard, and if my understanding is correct, we're supposed to get snow tonight, so that you might be able to freeze that up again for you and get the skates back out.
I don't see that happening. But it's really, it throws a logjam into all the sports.
Correct.
They're going to be playing games nonstop for the next couple of weeks.
Doubleheaders.
And it really messes things up.
How does that work with soccer?
Yeah.
When Gene was here, I forgot.
They won't play 2 in a day. They'll play their weekend tournaments, though. They'll play 5, 6 games.
In a weekend?
Well, there's 6 teams there, and they play like a round robin. I imagine 3 or 4 get you into the championship game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, magnesium. For cramps in your muscles, magnesium's really helpful. Just thought I'd throw that out there for you soccer players.
Also, we'll talk Little League. The Wyandotte Bears season starts on the Saturday, May 21st. I got to think we're 17th probably. The Saturday, third Saturday of the week, their season starts. They'll have their opening day ceremonies. They'll have pictures. They'll have everything. They have a little parade. You can still register your child if you haven't. There's a late fee if you haven't registered your child. But it's good to get them in this, get them started at T-ball, get them started at coach pitch. You know, coach pitch is great. You stand there on the mound, you lob them. As I used to tell the girls and the boys, I'm lobbing you puppies. Hit it as hard as you can.
Well, it starts to develop that eye-hand coordination to where now they can go ahead and start hitting. Do you use a fungo bat, or do you actually use a regular bat?
They use baseball bats. They use softball bats. And the thing I can say, having done this long enough, is that every kid develops at a different time. Just because your 8-year-old isn't knocking the cover off the ball, that kid that is 8 and is knocking the cover off the ball, maybe at 10 or 12 or 13, rest of the kids catch up to him. I know I'll just say we had a young nephew that was a superstar hockey player at the young age, faster than everybody else. Problem was he never grew, and by the time he got into the 14, 15, all the other kids were just as fast and skated, and he was getting bounced around. All of a sudden the game wasn't fun anymore. You have to keep the fun in the game.
It's fun when I'm doing good.
Your child may not be. Every team has levels. We've discussed this. Every team has levels. It's a coach's job to bring them together. That child will develop in a couple years. You just keep playing catch with them. Just keep, pitching them puppies. Wiffle balls work great. In the backyard, wiffle balls with a real bat, because then when you hit it with a wiffle ball with a real bat, it really goes. When you hit it with the wiffle bat, it doesn't do anything.
But
So
you made contact.
Trust me, you want the big bats, so when they hit that wiffle ball, it knocks it out of your yard, and then they go running around the imaginary bases.
Well, I believe it helps keep their interest up, their hunger for playing. Because once it's not fun anymore, they just drop out. There's too many fun things to do. We didn't have as many when we were younger, fun things to do like the video games and all that. But it does keep the interest up, and if the kid's got that interest, he will find a way to make it work for him. And you're so right, Marty, because when I coach 5th and 6th, which is 10 and 11, I would tell them that today might not be your best of days, but your days are coming. It might be when you're in 7th and 8th, when you're 12 and 13. It might be whenever you get into a freshman in high school. But your day will come. If you stay hungry, your day will come. Yeah.
Passion's a good word.
Passion.
You need to have passion for the game. Bowling, same way. I get girls and boys that have never really had their own equipment. That alone, in our sport, that alone, you get them, they're grabbing that big orange ball off the rack and just throwing it. Once we get them fitted with something and teach them the way to throw it, you start seeing the numbers go up. They see the numbers go up.
Correct.
So it would be the same in softball or hardball, where once they get a couple of hits, they're like, I can do this. Mm-hmm. You see it in their faces. They've never been taught the correct way. So a coach's job is to, give them the tools. Give them the tools that'll make them succeed.
A little different philosophy in the Catholic League, because I coached there also, 7th and 8th, and it's a 3-2 rule. 2 strikeouts, you're out. 3 balls, you're on base. So I would tell my kids, don't pertain to it like you do on TV. Yeah, let's see that strike. All of a sudden they wait on the first pitch. Now they have to hit the next pitch.
Correct.
I had my kids be aggressive.
That's
So-
having umped that league. Yes, those kids go up there.
Oh, I didn't know you umped to Catholic League. Oh, that's nice. Quick games.
Double headers mostly, long days. It's
Well,
quick
but not
games.
as long as the other way.
They're saving the pitcher's arms, I guess, is the theory behind all that.
Ah, makes
but
sense.
They do go up there hacking, and every year when I was younger, Mount Carmel would play Roosevelt, doubleheader. So one game they would play 3-2, and the other game they would play.
Really? Like the
4-3.
designated
Oh, it's
hitter
just
rule?
an exhibition.
Wow, how neat.
It was scrimmage.
Yeah.
Early in the season. That was.
I would think the advantage would go to the Catholic League because they're a little more aggressive.
You would think. I mean, this guy today can't remember the score of those games, but I just called him like I saw him. Okay, that's how that all works out. We have the Wyandotte Indians today being April 27th. It is the last day of registration for football for all the new players. Now, I think the returning players register first so they know how many openings there are for new players. Over at the Copeland Center, you have till noon. As our show airs at noon.
You're going to be a little late if you're counting on us.
But I'm sure if you
To
didn't
get the
make
information
registration on the day of today, and I'm sure if you wanted to sign your kid up for football that you already know the dates. Now we have out in the parking lot today, there are cars everywhere. You have the Hebda that way. And there's also another event going on here at the Yak.
Yes, nice lead-in when you said about cars, okay? For everybody likes to make model cars, it was never really my thing, but some people like to, and they do a great job with it. They have the 30th annual Expo, the North American Model Engineering. Now, I would believe with these, they said over 1,000 miniature models. That's quite impressive to bring in to the Yak. I don't believe there's a cost. It's free with admission.
Oh, there's a cost, I'm sure.
Oh, there is? Well, it says various seminars and demos, all free with admission. Oh, yeah, with admission.
But it
Well-
looks like they were packing them in. I will say that would be something interesting. A couple weeks ago, they had an event there. It was a giant flea market, and there was a table at 200 tables. This looks pretty cool. If you're into that kind of thing, you just want to see new techniques, maybe. You probably go in there and learn how to make the Pinewood Derby car be the fastest of any car out there.
That
Because
would be pretty neat.
I know the one thing, the Ford engineers that I know from my business used to make come on, the kids are making their cars, but come on, the Ford engineers are making them faster.
Yes.
Let's just go with that.
You make them trophies for that too, don't you?
I do make an
Oh, that's
occasional
fantastic.
trophy for that.
Well, this weekend it's from Saturday 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sunday 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Also, with this, you can, what did they say, 30,000 square feet? That's pretty impressive. That'll give you a lot to work with.
This weekend, the 28th, 26th through the 28th, we have a former Disney on Ice skater, Jackie White,
Nice.
is directing the Southgate Ice Spectacular at the Civic Center, and the theme is Living in Michigan. You are going to have all 4 seasons in one show, kind of just like it is here.
So wear your coat.
That's right. Rolling on the river, we talked about the Hebda. Next week's the Y-High. That's
Y-High?
Yeah, that's one
I
that
know why.
Roosevelt host. Tin Can Tourism, over where the old theater was. This weekend we have
Tin Can
2
Tourism?
days. Yes, if you just we'll go by there after. They have all these trailers from the 50s and 40s and 30s. The tin can silver ones.
Nice. Oh.
The real aerodynamic ones. The campers have varied over the years. You've got Model T, touring cars, and equipment. We drove by. They're still out there. They'll be out there for the next couple days.
Some couldn't start back up to drag them back out.
Yeah, some of them are towed. The Detroit River cleanup, that was scheduled for today, so stay out of their way if they're out there in the water. You know, don't run them over with a rowing boat.
I hope volunteerism was up because it was kind of chilly.
Oh.
If they'd had 70 or 80 degrees,
I
they'd
can't
had more.
imagine the kids that fell in the water for the
No, no.
Next week in sports for our local high school, Monday the 29th, baseball and softball will be at Trenton. And I'm going to say that's 2 tough games for both teams. Trenton's tough. Tuesday, the track team's in Lincoln Park. Tennis is playing at Carlson. Wednesday, we're back to baseball and softball. Melvindale's coming to town. Hopefully we give them competition. Soccer, it's to be determined. I'm not sure if they're playing. Thursday, baseball again. As Jay said 2 weeks ago, they play Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Correct.
They could have an add-on Wednesday and Friday this week.
Because of the rainouts.
Right. So baseball versus Taylor, softball versus Taylor, and tennis will be at Southgate. Now, Friday, track is in Saline at the Saline Invite. So there'll probably be 12 schools up there, and you get points for where you place in each event, 100 meter, 200 meter, 300 meter. And then next week, Saturday, May 4th, rowing the Y-High. And that is all we have for next week. Always a pleasure, Ken, to do the show with you.
Oh, thanks. Same with you, Marty. Are they kicking us out now?
It's getting close to time up. We will be back next week, May 4th. We will have more results. We appreciate you watching.
Absolutely.
And
We haven't been voted off
get more
yet.
friends watching so that our numbers go up. And if, again, any coach wants to come and talk to us, feel free. Contact Wyandotte Cable. Contact the local sports wrap-up.
Absolutely.
We will get
Nice.
a hold of you.
Nice board there, Marty. Real nice board.
We shall see where it leads us. Thank you again for watching. I'm Marty Janeski along with Ken Montroy signing out on the local sports wrap-up.
Thank you.